Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, good morning. This is Dan, and you're back in the No Comfort Zone. So glad you're back. So here's where we're at today. It is Monday, the 2nd of March, 2020. 2/3/2020. Here's where I'm at. So I want to talk about a couple different things today, and hopefully it'll motivate, inspire, and get you going in the right direction. I learned something yesterday, a couple of things, but I learned something yesterday that really had a profound Zen-like impact on me. And it had to deal with me achieving a personal goal while trying to get away from adversity. So if you've been listening to this podcast for 2 minutes, you know I kind of blew my knee out, a couple weeks ago, and it was in pretty bad shape, but, nothing's really wrong with it. It's just swollen up, and, I'm just getting old, right? That's the way it goes. And that's what happens when you get old and you get fat and you put a lot of pressure on your knee and you try to exercise. Injuries could happen. Well, I did something wrong and I heard it, but now while I was in my injury, the adversity, I was having a hard time getting around, moving around. While I was injured, I'm reading a book about Kyle Carpenter, and what is the name of his book? Kyle Carpenter's books. The name is Youre Worth It, and it's about a Congressional Medal of Honor young man, a Marine, who ended up getting involved with a grenade when he was in Afghanistan, and he saved the lives of some people around him, or saved the life of another Marine. And it's an amazing story, and it's a great book, and I think it's a good read, and I think I got the audio book, and I think it's a good listen too. So while I was listening to his story on my way to and from work, dealing with my injury, man, if this guy can go ahead and run a marathon afterwards, boy, I should sure be able to, because I've never got blown up by a grenade. I just have a silly knee injury. And if there really is nothing wrong with even if there was, but if there's really nothing wrong with my injury, what's really holding me back? Really, it's not the fear of doing a marathon. It's the commitment of doing the work to get there. So I've got that in the back of my head, and I'm thinking, this no comfort zone thing, helping a couple people get out of their comfort zone and live on purpose, finding happiness, all those things. I'm currently working with somebody to get out of their debt. They've got a lot of debt, and we're going on a plan to do that. And actually, while getting out of debt, we're learning to invest a little bit. So that's exciting. But more importantly, my Zen-like thing was, you know what? No matter what happens, I'm going to run that marathon. So I started training yesterday for a marathon, and I have a coach to help me, and that basically it was this: you should just get out there and start running. And I did the best I could, and it was terrible, folks. It was horrible. When I say horrible, it was like I said I was going to run for 1 mile. Hey, I ran for 1.47 miles. I was okay with that, because the goal switched from running 1 mile to running, 20 minutes. Yeah, it took me 20 minutes to run 1.47 miles. It's horrible. I had to walk. My ankles hurt. My knees hurt. Not in a point where I'm damaging it, but I had it all braced up. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I realized that it's not necessarily the finish line that counts the most in life. It's not the finish line. What it really comes down to, as my coach told me, it's not the finish line, it's the starting line. Also, you just have to get to that starting line. Get to the starting line, and when that gun goes off, just go. Just go. And that was really important for me, because I always want to be perfect. I used to be able to run a 6-minute mile a long time ago. I used to be 150 pounds a long time ago. And all these things are starting to come into reality with what I want to do with my life. And I'm not where I used to be. But you know what the cool part is? I completed it. So the finish line is important. But more importantly is I got to the starting line. Because in my head, if I stayed in my head, I would have been like, well, there's no way I can run that. So, it's going to be too hard. I'm going to have to train for basically 6-7 months in order to get me ready to go run that marathon, the Marine Corps Marathon in DC in October. And it's scary. It's just a really scary place to be, but I did it. So that's a huge thing for me, because most of the time, and the people I deal with, they think things have to be perfect. Case in point, I had somebody come to my house yesterday to work with me in regards to a huge problem that just happened. They're having a conflict at their work, and the conflict's not getting resolved to their satisfaction. And it's what I would call, borderline hostile work environment, but nobody's really ready to do anything. So when she came over, the idea was we're going to go over a resume and we're going to find out where it is this person with her 13 years of experience, where this person can go in their life. And during the process of me taking notes and putting together a resume, I don't do resumes. It's not my thing, but I read a lot of resumes and I look at stuff. So I just thought I would help. So, and we would talk about some other stuff to get that person's self-esteem back where it needs to be, because they're freaking out. Oh my gosh, I have to get out there and look for another job because this isn't going to resolve the way that I want it to. So what we did is we went over the no comfort zone model. And I'm here to tell you, listen, adversity and goals, the same actions are needed to go in that direction. Okay, if you want to go accomplish your goals, you're going to have to learn how to solve some problems. And this person never saw the adversity coming. This person realized that, they're not in a financially ideal situation to be job jumping right now. And with their age to consider as well, there's a lot of fear going on. But the fear in the reality is that 13 years of a solid work effort with becoming aware of where they currently are, identifying why they got there. Was it poor communication? Was it lack of standards? Was it no boundaries in place? What was the reason? Now decide what it is you want. Thank God. You've been in the same job for 13 years. You've been miserable the last 3. You love parts of it. But truth be told, it's time for you to change. And if you've been wanting change, well, the universe is giving it to you. So you can't really cry about it and whine about it. You got to have that reality check. Like, wait a minute, here's an opportunity. There's the key word for me to go after my dreams and create my dream reality rather than just going towards a pension or a paycheck or benefits. You could really find employment where they're going to be, a great culture, great morale. That's what I try to create with where I'm at. I want people to be really engaged, but I also want to create an environment where customers and employees are genuinely happy to come to work, where they look forward to it. And quite frankly, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do because I am working on my leadership skills. Well, while working with this coaching person that needed some help, what it really came down to was, we're working on self-esteem, we're working on debt reduction, now we're working on employment. And the cool part is after our hour and a half get together, we were supposed to meet for an hour, but it was an hour and a half. And, there was tears shed and a lot of pain. And it's like, good. This is great that you're that upset. This is a really good place to be, because for every problem you have and you create that solution with those tears, well, those tears, you're going to wipe those up and you're going to actually use that as fuel for you to get where it is where you really want to go. So it's painful and uncomfortable now, but that's what life's all about. So the good news is this. After the hour and a half, we went through like a Q&A while we were writing down the resume bullet points and stuff. I had made a comment about, describe the best situation you've ever had there. Describe the worst. Describe, behavioral type stuff. Went through an interview. And at the end of it, it was more or less, wow, I'm really good at what I do. Yeah. And you're not in a fear position unless you put yourself there. You should be very empowered at this moment. As with you, the listener, in life, if you've got problems right now, look at what you're great at. You need to realize that you're a good person. You realize that you are worthwhile, and I do believe in you, and so do other people. And other people are counting on you. Life's going to throw curveballs at you. Life's going to give you lemonade. And what do? And then what, right? Okay, so something bad happened. You're about ready to walk away from your job. Your choice. Okay, and then what's going to happen? Well, I'm not going to have a job for a while. And then what's going to happen? It'll all work itself out as long as you keep moving forward, right? So I hope this podcast finds you well. If you're dealing with problems and or adversity and you're trying to achieve your goals and you're looking for help in a direction, relationship, health, fitness, you're looking for monetary information, anything that I can do to help you to get from point A to point B. I know a little about a lot, and I probably know a lot more than most because I failed more than most, and I observed everything that I've done, and I document it and write it down, and I realized one of the greatest successes in my life was learning from my failures all the time. And if you need some help, the NoComfortZone.com, it's a blueprint, can help you out a little bit. It's an idea of what to do with problems and what to do with adversity. It's also an opportunity for you to look at your goals and say, I'm going to go for them in a simple but not easy format where you can get the things that you want out of life, but more importantly, you can find your purpose. Hit me up on social media. Please do me a favor. I'd love some reviews on iTunes, wherever you consume it. Like, rate, review, subscribe, get notified when these new things come up. But until we actually meet at a live event, I hope you get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.